Today I was planning on dropping a mock draft video, my second one of the off season, but then some, pretty, I guess, decently sized Texans news came out today, and I felt like I had to talk about it because when I hopped on Twitter, I seen Texans fans, like usual these days, complaining about, little things that really aren't an issue at all, trying to create a problem where there isn't any problem. Now, before we get into these re-signings, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get a notification every time I upload a video. Okay though, so earlier today, in the morning, I hadn't been on Twitter, and Twitter always gets the news first. You might have the NFL app, you might have the Texans app, you might get your news from Instagram or from wherever, but the news always comes out on Twitter first. Every morning I always check Twitter, but for whatever reason today I didn't check Twitter, and then I got the notification from the NFL app that Texans signed Darren Fells. And the way they worded it, it was like Texans signed Darren Fells to a $7 million deal. And I freaked out, man. I was freaking out. I'm like, what in the world are they doing? Because, when I first seen that notification, I was like, oh, a $7 million contract. I automatically assumed it was a 1-year contract worth $7 million. I'm like, how in the world you gonna pay Darren Fells $7 million a year, or for a year? So then I hopped on Twitter and then I seen, it was a 2-year deal, so everything's fine. A 2-year deal worth $7 million. He's getting $4 million guaranteed. He's getting that this year, and to me, that's a good contract. That's about where I would want Darren Fells. I wouldn't pay him a penny over that, and I'm fine with it. I mean, the dude's a pretty good blocker. He's a good red zone target for Deshaun Watson, and, Watson likes him. The dude had 7 touchdowns this past season. Yes, he ate up into D-Hop's red zone looks, but hey, it's okay, It can't be all D-Hop all the time. We gotta have other weapons, and if Watson likes Darren Fells, which he clearly did last year, it's okay. It's not like $3.5 million a year on average. It's a lot of money. Like it's not like some people would rather go get Austin Hooper or Hunter Henry for like way more, which I don't understand, or an Eric Ebron who honestly isn't really that good, and that makes no sense to me. I think Darren Fells did a good job. Can we get better than Darren Fells? Oh, absolutely. But that's why we got Kahali Waring. We drafted him in the 3rd round last year. He was IR stats this past year. And, this year he's going to have a chance to show us something. And with this Darren Fells re-signing, it kind of tells me that the Texans will be moving on from Jordan Thomas. Now, personally, I like the potential that Jordan Thomas has. Big guy, really athletic, fast, strong hands type of guy. But to me, it's pretty evident that he's the odd man out. Some people want to say Jordan Akins. I mean, if it were up to me, it would be Jordan Akins. But it's pretty clear that the Texans like what they have in Jordan Akins. He plays kind of like a little H-back role type of thing with the Texans. So he has his own role on his offense, different from Darren Fells. And I highly doubt they would give up on Kahali Waring after all that praise he got coming out of OTAs and training camp, and then he got hurt and they IR stashed him. So I'm pretty sure going into next year, tight ends are going to be Darren Fells, obviously just re-signed, Jordan Akins because they like him for whatever reason, and Kahali Waring because he was a 3rd round pick, and Jordan Thomas is the odd man out, unfortunately. But I would try to trade him even if we could get like just a 7th round pick from him, because like I said, he has the size, the athletic ability to be something in this league, and that's really unfortunate. Like, I didn't want to give up on him, and it's completely unrealistic to expect the Texans to carry 4 tight ends coming into the season. And now the reason why they chose Darren Fells over, I guess Jordan Thomas is because the Texans like to have a blocking tight end, and Jordan Akins isn't exactly that. Kahali Waring wasn't exactly that. Jordan Thomas, they tried to turn him into that, but, he didn't really end up being a good blocker either. So they opted to stick with the 34-year-old Darren Fells, and I'm okay with that. And the contract that Darren Fells got is something similar that I would offer Carlos Hyde. I understand there's a lot of people that want Carlos Hyde back, but I would not pay Carlos Hyde a penny over $4 million a year on average. Yeah, he did good for us last year, but I mean, the dude's a replacement level back, so yeah. And now the next re-signing, Kaimi Fairbairn. This is the one I saw a lot of people complaining about. Fairbairn got a 4-year deal worth like 17.7 mil, which is like an average of like 4.5 mil a year. 9 million guaranteed. It's not much, but people still complained for no reason at all. Like, why in the world do people dislike Kaimi Fairbairn? The dude is money. He kicked a game-winning field goal against the Bills in the playoffs. He kicked a bunch of game-winning field goals in 2018. Oh, but he missed a bunch of kicks early in 2019. It was the holder. Like, how many times do we have to repeat this? Laces out, people. It actually matters. Once Brian Anger got the holds down right, Kaimi Fairbairn didn't miss a single kick the rest of the season. Fairbairn, he's got ice in his veins, man. He kicks those clutch kicks. He makes them. I know some people might point at the 51-yard field goal that he missed against KC in the playoffs, but that's KC in the playoffs, man. Cold. It's not so easy to kick a 51-yard field goal in a cold environment in mid-January. There's a reason why nobody had attempted a 51-yard field goal before at Arrowhead in the playoffs. For that reason. The ball gets hard when it's cold and it gets harder to kick, doesn't travel as long. So, yeah, I really see absolutely no issue with the Texans re-signing Darren Fells or Kaimi Fairbairn to cheap deals. It's like, why in the world would you want to let Kaimi Fairbairn walk, and then now you ain't got a kicker? Now you don't have a kicker, and you're bringing in all these scrubs, and these scrubs are going to end up costing you these games. I'd rather go with the guy I know who can kick the game-winning field goals, the guy I know who can consistently make the field goals when the ball is being held right, than to go with a completely unknown. And not only that, it's not like Kaimi Fairbairn is Shane Graham that can only kick 47-yard field goals. Nah, this guy can kick 50-yard field goals, 50+. He can do that. But, people still like to complain. At this point, I'm convinced that it's just because it's O'Brien. Like, it's O'Brien making the move, so people absolutely have to complain. And like I said on Twitter today, O'Brien could trade a 7th round pick for Aaron Donald, and people would still find a way to complain about that. Like, it's ridiculous at this point, man. Like, it's hard to be a Texans fan because all these Texans fans are ruining it. Because they seem to think every single move made is a bad move. Which, in fact, O'Brien has made nothing but good moves. Well, except for one, the Whitney Merciless extension. Besides that, every single move that O'Brien has made has been good. You can try to argue it, but no, you are wrong. You are wrong. Tunsil move was a good move. I don't care what anybody says. Carlos Hyde for a 3rd string guard, good move. Third round pick for Duke Johnson, maybe a slight overpay, but a good move. Did Duke Johnson not contribute this year? He helped his team out quite a lot. Third round pick for a stud young corner in Garyon Conley, good move. Picking up Vernon Hargraves in the middle of the season when our cornerback group was like so injured, good move. All these good moves, but people will still complain about it just because it's Bill O'Brien. Now look, as a GM, in my opinion, O'Brien's a good GM. As a coach, that's a different story. Don't let your opinions on O'Brien, the head coach, determine your opinions on O'Brien, the GM. They're two completely different people, because O'Brien, the GM, is a pretty damn good GM. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Now, there is something else I want to talk about as well, and that is these Trent Williams rumors. Fake. Nah, but on a serious note, these are 100% fake. We're currently in the point of the off-season where pretty much a good chunk of the stuff you see out there, all these rumors, purse sources, a lot of them are fake, and that's due to the agents of teams wanting to create a better market for their clients. So do not believe that. I mean, I don't believe it. It's just unrealistic in so many different ways. I mean, for one, the Texans already have Tunsil and Titus Howard. And, Tunsil wants $20 million a year. And Trent Williams wants $20 million a year. So, yeah, it's just not going to happen. It makes no sense for the Texans to trade for Williams and pay him $20 million a year when they have a much younger Tunsil that they could pay $20 million a year, And I've seen some Texans fans suggest, move Trent Williams to right tackle and play Titus Howard at right guard. Trent Williams is a left tackle, man. Like, you cannot just move a guy from a position that he's played his entire life this late in his career. You can end up hurting players like that. So, no. And, just because he's a great left tackle doesn't mean he's going to be a great right tackle either. It just doesn't work that way. This isn't Madden where you can, legit make a center play left tackle. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. So, yeah, those rumors are completely false. The Texans are not interested in Trent Williams. Now, just because they're not interested in Trent Williams now doesn't mean that they weren't interested in Trent Williams a year ago, because keep in mind, a year ago, Texans trading for Trent Williams would have made 100% sense, but this year, the Texans have two stud offensive tackles, and they're going to stay with them. They're not going to trade for Trent Williams. So, yeah, that's, my opinion on that, because I did have some people asking me about, the whole Trent Williams rumors thing. I just don't believe them, so yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.